Hello guys, and welcome to a new video of Linux Art. I guess many of you are familiar to Nextcloud. Nextcloud is an open source cloud, just like Google Drive or Dropbox, and it has evolved in the last years to a fully Teams alternative, or also Microsoft 365 alternative, at least in some functionality. And it is the cloud I'm daily using for my work. I have it hosted myself, and Nextcloud is, I would say, in the end, a very good open source product. But Nextcloud has one big problem. Nextcloud is very, very slow. And if you add some more apps, then it becomes more slower. And then if you see, Nextcloud has so many things they want to achieve. They want to achieve to being a cloud. They want to be a talk platform. They want to be an email client. They want to be a groupware platform. They want to be an AI app and so on. So yeah, they are not focusing too much on the very specific thing with which they went big, and this is the cloud itself. I would say, let's have a look. Are there some other alternatives at the horizon? And yeah, there is indeed. And this is a very new project. It is called OpenCloud. To be honest, it isn't too new. It was forked by OwnCloud OCI. A similar OwnCloud project was the origin of Nextcloud. So they are kind of related to each other, but they don't share the same tech space. OpenCloud is written in Go, and OpenCloud isn't a LAMP app like Nextcloud, so it isn't developed in PHP with MySQL and so on. It's developed in Go, and it's completely database-less, what should make it very, very performant. In the end, it has the same aim as Nextcloud, but wants to be maybe a better Nextcloud, much more focused to the essentials. And I would say, let's just have a look how this project is evolving and how we can install it. We are heading to the community here, and then we see the GitHub link here. Then we see a get started. And then we can get started very easily with Docker-Compose. I have a complete bare Debian server. You could also do this with your Ubuntu server if you want, but I would advise to take kind of a server. Could be also an old desktop computer if you are not familiar to servers. Let's install OpenCloud in our home. So we need a git clone command. We need Docker, which we see. At first, we need to install Docker on our server here and git. So I type in sudo apt install docker and docker-compose. And then in the end, I install git. This should be just fine. At first, I should type in sudo apt update if this is a fresh server. Then we can do sudo apt install docker, docker-compose and git. Let's have a look. I press enter, and then this is installing. If you are on Debian, then just make sure to have apparmor installed, apt install apparmor. This is needed by Docker on Debian. Of course, I need to type it correctly, but in my case, this already got installed with the Docker command some minutes ago. Then we have installed all prerequisites. Then we can download the OpenCloud repository, how it is described here. I put you the link to it into the video description, as also the command we issued some seconds ago, so that you can very simply copy and paste that to your own server. Now it's gonna be important, where are we installing it? I'm personally doing it by typing in sudo-e, then we are logged in as root. If we are not yet, then I create a new folder called OpenCloud in this root directory. Then all apps I have installed on the server, I could just type ls here and then see which app or which folders are in here and which apps are running on my system. But I'm now continuing with git clone, because git clone does make a new directory which should be also called OpenCloud, because it's related of the git file. Then we see, yeah, perfect, cloning into OpenCloud. And this is downloading the whole OpenCloud project as we see it here. Then in the next step, we change our directory into OpenCloud, and they already did an OpenCloud full example. So I would say let's dive into it. I changed my directory to this OpenCloud full example. Let's just have a very quick look. You don't actually have to do this, but I'm very curious how they are doing it. They are doing something with traffic. Traffic is hearing at port 80 and port 443. So this looks okay, I guess. Maybe we don't need any additional web server here. We see some certificates here. Let's encrypt configuration, but we are running a local server here, so we don't need any HTTPS from let's encrypt. I think everything is running through traffic. It also creates a socket link for Docker, so the image can manage itself via Docker. This is quite important. And in the end, there are many configuration variables which we can set. I just leave it complete default for the first run. Otherwise, we could also change there something. But this looks good for me at the first point. So we can now progress to the next command here, docker-compose.yml. And there's a very special thing right now. If you're watching this video at a later point of time, you won't have this problem anymore. But if you are on Debian, then you need to add between Docker and Compose a dash here if you are not taking the official Docker repositories and are going with the repositories of Debian itself. I'm more fan to this, but if you have the more up-to-date Docker version, just leave this command as it is. But I'm going here with a dash between Docker and Compose, and then we are building this Docker project up, and in the end, if everything's right, we already have our OpenCloud waiting for us. After 1 or 2 minutes, everything is done and we see our command shell again. And as a next point, you see here a local domain etc host entry, which we could set that we can reach our own server properly. For me, I am doing this in a local environment. So my server is in the local area network here, and it has another IP address than my computer, of course. This IP address we could look up with the command IP-A. Then we see here the IP address of our server. It's also the IP address you use if you want to connect to your server via SSH. And I would say we paste this IP into our text editor, and then we see here the etc hosts file, which we could see here. I would say we adapt this etc host file for us. For my local machine here, I'm also running Linux here, so in the end I could just copy this one. Now we have to edit our etc host file on our own local machine, so I open a new terminal tab here, and then I type in sudo gedit. In my case, you could also use something like nano, for example. Let's use nano. I guess every one of you should have this installed. And then we type in /etc/hosts. And then I type in my password here, and I'm adding some more lines here. These lines we had in our text editor where we changed the IP. And what these lines are basically saying, if I type in cloud.opencloud.test in my web browser, then I mean in real this IP. So my computer knows, okay, if I want to access this, I now know where I can access this cloud. And this looks fine, I guess. So I press Ctrl-O, Enter, and then Ctrl-X. Then I saved everything up, and then we should be just fine. And we could just open up cloud.opencloud.test. If this works, yeah, this looks kind of good. We see your connection is not private. This is completely okay because we are in a local environment. Our browser cannot verify that cloud.opencloud.test is really this server we want to access and not another one, but this browser can't know at this stage, so this is completely normal and completely fine. But at first we need to go to collabora.opencloud.test, so I open up this address here, and then I click to advanced, and then select proceed to collabora opencloud.test. And if everything's fine, then we see a small okay here. This is just okay. This is everything. And now we can get to the cloud.opencloud.test here. I select advanced here down, and I also select now proceed to cloud.opencloud.test. 404 page not found. Awesome. Okay, after some looking up the errors, I got an error with my SMTP sender. It must be a valid single address and so on. It turns out that there are multiple Docker compose files in there. There are many compose files. And I looked to opencloud.yml, and then you see a notifications SMTP sender. And there are some crazy variable magic happening. So I removed this and just inserted some chunk here because we didn't set up SMTP for now, and this now is just fine. I recreated it with docker compose up-d, and then this is fine. This only is because I'm using the old docker compose here. If you're using the new docker compose command, which I guess many of you are doing right now already, then you don't have to fear this problem. And then yeah, this just works right through. So it was a fault of my old Docker version here, but this turned out to be just a smaller error here, like it seems. So now we see our OpenCloud sign in page, and our first login here is admin and password is also admin. So I'm just inserting these both very secure username and passwords here, admin, and then I go to login, and here we are in our OpenCloud. So yeah, this is our own private cloud now here. This setup looks like it's very straightforward, but what we also have to remind here, this is just a test environment, and we didn't see the chance right now just to listen at a special port, and then we are, for example, forwarding this with our own reverse proxy. But I guess there are also some configurations for that. So if you want to see some more content about OpenCloud, just let me know it into the comments, and I will do more videos about this in the future. Then yeah, we see here our OpenCloud. We have our files here. We have spaces. Honestly, I don't know what spaces are. This is kind of for teams, yeah. And yeah, our personal files here. Perfect. So now I can upload a file here. Oh, a great thumbnail from my German YouTube channel here. A perfect live stream. Yeah, this looks very easy and very handy. And yeah, it works really, really fast. So just if I upload, for example, the Rustdesk app image I find in my downloads folder here. If I just drag and drop this one here into this window, we see this is snapping really, really fast. Already this in Nextcloud turns out to be not as fluent, I would say. So I just drag and drop it here, and we see perfect. It's uploaded in a very short moment of time. Of course, okay, yeah, this .app image file is only 66 megabytes. And of course, this is running on my local area network. And this is also running on my own computer in just a virtual machine. But yeah, it turns out not to be slow at this point here. We could see our shares here, because what we can also do, for example, we can now share a file with some other people. So I select share here, and then we can search for some people here. Very, very cool. And then we can also select what could we do here. Should the person only view? Can it only view and download? Also very cool. So it is applying some watermarks here by default. Very, very cool, this secure view, and then also edit. Very, very cool, to be honest. And then we see a permanent link. This permanent link I can now paste into some email, and some other person could open it up. Of course, if this is not a test cloud, or if this person also did its etc host setup. So yeah, it's only for testing purposes here for this video. But then we can see here, okay, yeah, we could fix this, but this takes another session. If you want to see this in another video, just let me know, and then I can, oh, okay, then I have to log in myself again, because I guess it's only for sharing with some other people, I guess. Isn't it? Okay, okay, public links. Here we also see a public link. We could just select add link here. Then I select a copy link here. We could also see a password here directly. A password is just generated by default. Very, very cool, to be honest. We could also copy link and password. Very, very cool, very handy. And we could also set, of course, our option, our expiry date, and so on. Kind of cool, to be honest. Very, very cool. I select copy link and password, and then I opening up a new incognito profile. Where's my incognito tab? Here is my incognito tab. Let's have a look. Perfect. And then, yeah, this site can't be reached. Okay, maybe it's the test setup, but this doesn't work at this moment here. Honestly, I'm not too happy with this test setup. To be honest, for me, I'm kind of experienced administrator in Linux right now. It would be much more nicer just to get a single big Docker Compose file, and then I can adjust my port where I want to listen, and then I can very easily put an Nginx reverse proxy manager or Caddy, for example, before it, and then this is also just fine. I guess we also see some other things here. Yeah, OpenCloud with Docker Compose. Yeah, here we see a bit more production ready setup here. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, there's also a guide here. So we could also do this in another video if you want to see. Yeah, this is it for OpenCloud. Let's have a look to the other applications we have here. We have some text editors here. Okay, perfect. We have now a new file.txt. Hello world. Okay, and I can save it here, I guess. Save. And we see also an autosave here. Very, very good. Context menu. I could also copy a permanent link, for example. Share, of course, also. Again, save as. Also very important. This doesn't look too nice, to be honest. And you see kind of the Nextcloud or OwnCloud fork some years ago. This isn't a dialog I like too much, but okay, yeah, it's functionable, I would say. Yeah, I guess it's good. And I would also say that this is a bit better than the Nextcloud file choose or copy dialog. To be honest, it's kind of hard in the web to do such proper file selecting things. Also on my own server projects, this isn't too nice, also for me looking, to be honest. So yeah, then we see an app store. Perfect. OpenCloud has also an app store. Okay, we have a very important app here. We see progress bars here. Perfect. Now we get very good progress bars here for uploading and so on. Okay, this has it to be. We have unzip. Also very, very cool. If you want to unzip a file here, just, yeah, okay, I can download this one. Okay, I can download this here. And then I get the unzip.zip. I don't know if this is right, to be honest. I expected that this is maybe installing itself, but maybe this will come as a new feature. OpenCloud, this fork is kind of new, and let's see what they are gonna changing on this. We see Draw.io. This is also cool. Perfect. I like Draw.io very, very much, just to do very simple charts here. Very, very cool. What I also like here, we have the same file save dialog. This is not too good in Nextcloud in my opinion, because then you have to look how are you gonna saving this inside this app. But yeah, OpenCloud does it very easily for us. They implemented their own save and save as menu here. Also across multiple apps, very, very good in my opinion. Yeah, then we see some admin settings here. Okay, we have a search, which is great. We see some general information. It isn't too much, as if you compare this to Nextcloud. Yeah, this is huge. Nextcloud is huge, of course, but yeah, Nextcloud is a bit older, so to say. and way more popular right now, but let's see, maybe OpenCloud will get up to this. We see some users here. We could create here username, first and last name, email, password. This is so easy. This is so great. It's only the basic we need. We haven't too much information here. Great. And if we go into a user setting itself, then we see some personal quota settings, some groups, login allowed, disallowed. Okay, for the admin, we can't change this. This is fine. But yeah, this is very, very easy, to be honest. Also, my account preferences. We also see how many megabytes we're using right up here. I guess Nextcloud has it right on the left bottom corner, but this is also okay. And then we see our preferences. Which language should I choose? You see many languages already there. Perfect. You could see this theme, light theme or dark theme maybe. I can't see a dark theme here. Maybe there isn't a dark theme yet, but I guess it will come very, very soon. And then we see a GDPR export. Very, very cool. This is very important for companies inside the European Union, that you can very easily create a new export of your cloud. Very, very good. This is a great feature, to be honest, and also could be a very strong argument for OpenCloud, especially for companies. Also, we see some web DAF information, so we could also connect our connect our clients to it. Very, very cool. Maybe we do also another video about this. This looks just fine. Also, we got a documentation in here inside OpenCloud. This looks kind of cool. Of course, I guess it's only an iframe, but why not? And then we see here the user documentation. I guess this isn't too big right now. No. Wow, crazy, very, very good. You see, yeah, what is which thing here. Great. I like it very much. Yeah, this is it for OpenCloud. Maybe a last feature I want to test. Maybe let's see if Collabora is running. I select new and then select a new open document here. Perfect. I select subscribe to Linuxort. Okay, and then we see web page moved permanently to a new web address. Maybe this is the messed up test setup I have here, but just wanted to check it out if this kind of works right now out of the box in my test setup with old Docker. Okay. Maybe we will do another video where we are doing a proper tutorial how to do this on your real production server. And if you want to try out OpenCloud very, very fast, there's also a demo waiting. So you could select just demo on opencloud.eu, and then we could just test the environment here. Perfect. Demo.opencloud.eu. We see here our username, password demo, and then you can also just try it out for yourself in the official demo cloud here. Nice. So this is it for now with OpenCloud. What is your first impression about OpenCloud? My opinion is it has very strong roots. It is completely open source. It is written in Go. It's very, very fast. It's very performant. But yeah, of course, it has kind of a lack of features. If you look, for example, to some things like groupware with calendar or tasks, many people don't use this. They only want to use a file cloud. Then this is really, really great. But of course, also OpenCloud is very, very new. It got announced just a few months ago. So I would say we will see a lot more of OpenCloud coming. And this could be, I would say, the next Nextcloud killer, because many developers of OpenCloud were working at the base or origin of Nextcloud called OwnCloud, which now got sold to another company, and they want to continue their OpenCloud project, and I am very looking forward to it. And in the next video, if you want to see it, just write it me into the comments. Then we are doing the Docker Compose version, not local, but for your real production server. Thank you very much for watching. I'm very curious about your opinion. Just write it into the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye.